Hi, Jess.
Hi, Trudy.
What's a fun fact about you that most people would be surprised to know?
I can drive a forklift, not just a forklift, with extensions, with a carpet pole. I can drive a sidewinder and a cherry picker.
Oh my goodness. What's the first cultural event you remember going to or a concert?
So when I was 19, I went to the Riviera Maya, and I had the opportunity to see hundreds of performers at Xcaret give hundreds of years of history of South American culture. It's one of the most incredible performances. So everything from this ancient game where you're throwing this concrete ball through this hoop in a wall, through the development of Western music, and so some of these like more country Western sort of feelings that we have today. So that was a really immersive, interesting historical opportunity.
Oh my goodness. Look at you. Okay. We'll get into that one. So describe yourself in 3 words.
Gosh, introspective, empathetic, and adventurous.
Ooh. I cannot wait to dive deeper into those 3 aspects of who you are. Coming from a person who knows you on a personal level, I have seen those. And it'll be amazing to even just, peel those layers as we go through the conversation today. And then what's your go-to activity when you need a mood boost?
Being in nature. Yeah, I think just being in nature and listening to it. So music is a big part of my life. It's a way that I learn and grow and heal. And I attribute just sounds in general to that. So like to go out and just hear what the earth has to say to me that day, whether it's through birds or bugs or whatever is making noise out there. The rustling of the corn leaves doesn't matter. Just to immerse myself in whatever that outside space looks like is very healing for me.
Oh my gosh. Do you have any specific nature activity, or as long as you're outside in nature, that does it?
Mostly just being deep into nature in some kind of way. There's something really special about like climbing a tree, I think, and just sort of like elevating above the ground. But I also like to just be really observant about birds. I'm a birder as well, so I like to watch and see what they're doing, how they're communicating, and kind of takes me off into another space.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So let's get to know you on a deeper level now. So before this new role, so I understand you have a very brand new role now. So before this new role, what was your path leading up to this executive director position?
Yeah, I had a really non-traditional sort of educational track. So what I mean by that is I didn't go straight from high school like we do here in the States and do the 4 years or 6 years or 8 years or whatever years of college. I took some breaks, and I was realizing that I was climbing corporate ladders and making career advancements in tandem with just chipping away at my degree. So I found myself in a variety of industries, everything from political telemarketing, all those really fun surveys we like to answer on the phones, through the home improvement industry, where I learned to drive a forklift, among many other things. I can tell you about how to build a house from, the concrete in the basement all the way through the countertop that you pick. I know a lot of things about building materials and the process involved. Led me into some management seats. I then worked in the commodities trade business, domestic feed and grain, and international trade as well. So what happens from the farm to the railroad, to the barge, down the river, across the ocean? Is it in a container? Is it in a tank? What is it that we're shipping, and what comes back in those things? So really learning about global economics in a hands-on sort of way. So all of those things were what I was doing immediately leading up to CulturAll, while studying communications, deeply rooted more in psychology, education, civics, and social sciences. And that sort of spearhead came all at once when I was deep into commodities trade and receiving my bachelor's degree in communication. I found CulturAll.
Wow. It's such a huge spectrum of experience.
Yeah.
And it really goes to say that anything that you do along the way has transferable skills that you can always transfer to whatever role or task that you have, coming. All the way from driving a forklift, like, come on, like the whole, wow. It's impressive. I love speaking to people who have done so many different things, because it really shows that you can find cohesiveness in all the different things that you're doing. Yeah. So was there a defining moment when you knew this was the line of work for you, given your journey?
I thought a lot about this. I think for me, this moment of knowing that I couldn't get really jazzed about watching the market every day. and that the way that we wake up and show up every day has a lot to do, if we have a goal of moving in purpose and with purpose, we have to feel about it. It needs to make us feel some kind of way. So when I went searching for what that feeling is that I wanted to immerse in, and I found CulturAll, I remember having the thought that this is a job, like this is something I get to do. And so to shift that, I have to wake up and go to work, to I get to go do this feeling, that I think for me was this moment of knowing that it was purposeful, and knowing that it was purposeful not just in general, but for me too.
Wow. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this role, the role as an executive director for CulturAll. What does that entail? And even before we go to that, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big deal.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So yeah, just walk us through what being an executive director for CulturAll entails and how that would look like on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. So I sat in the operations seat with CulturAll for the last 6 years. And that's relevant because there was a team of 3 people when I joined CulturAll. Sherry Gupta, who is the founder, and served as the executive director for the 20-year history. By design, in order to sustain and grow, they knew someone needed to know how to work in and on the business at the same time. So having the ability to vision while executing everything from the ground up. So knowing what's in the weeds and looking out the window of that skyscraper at the same time. It looks like, generically, protecting the financial health and well-being of the organization, really understanding how money comes and goes is essential in a nonprofit business. But more than that, how to tell the story of what you're doing, how to understand the layers of impact that the work has, the layers of meaning, and knowing also that there's lots of good work that happens in community. So where do we bridge? Where do we connect? Where do we amplify? So all of these things sort of roll up into vision as well. So I think if I had to say what are the big things to do as executive director, it's to connect deeply with community and understand the landscape in which you're serving, because you're serving, that's what you're doing, you're serving a mission. Aside from that, it's the ability to have business acumen and know how to run a business, because nonprofits, while yes, you may aim to break even or have enough overhead to keep your doors and lights, open and on, you also need to be a good business person. I think in addition to that, it's just the ability to listen and pay attention and know where you plug in.
So if someone was coming through the door today for the first time, or just coming into this country for the first time, they've never heard of CulturAll, explain to that as you're telling someone who's brand new to the whole concept of CulturAll, what do you guys do?
It's the most challenging question.
Oh, you're welcome.
Because we're so nuanced. But I think if I had to just pick a few sentences, you find us in the schools, the workplace, in community spaces, wherever people gather, you can find us there. We are a network. We're not really just an entity. We're a network of more than 100 folks who represent more than 35 world cultures, identities, perspectives, and experiences. And we lean in to what's personal to you, that personal story, that narrative, that tradition that you bear. And we provide educational opportunities. We provide conversational opportunities. And most importantly, we provide accessible spaces for you to continue to learn and grow.
Wow. So with that being said, I want to know a little bit. So I know, and I'm diving a little deeper because I've heard a little bit about CulturAll, but I don't think all the audience have essentially heard about this. So I know you guys you'll invite someone and they'll come and share their culture with, the students and whatnot. Can you tell us a little bit about that and why that's an important aspect to your organization?
Yeah, so 20 years ago, the context is important. So something I like folks to know about me, I'm a really indirect communicator, so you're keeping me in the direct path, which I love. This is an exception. About 20 years ago, Sherry Gupta, the founder, again, was teaching global awareness training in a corporate setting. Simultaneously had an opportunity to take some programming with another PTA member into their children's classroom for a fine arts day. And it was sort of this overlap. Why do we wait until folks are grown up to think about the global world that we will eventually live and work in? We are part of a global workforce. we need to understand what that means and how to communicate through it. And we need to understand how to relate to each other on personal levels. So CulturAll is sort of born through this idea. What that looks like in a classroom is the same way that it looks in a retirement community, and it's the same way that it looks in a corporate boardroom. So instead of talking about just geography and currency and topography and the different things that make a place or a space on a map, I want to know what games you played as a child. I want to know what that special spice was that your grandmother used in that recipe and why that is so very special to your family, or the traditions that you hold around a holiday. What does that holiday mean? What were the games that went along with it and. So we want to take it personal. We don't want it to be something that someone can find on YouTube. We want it to be so unique to that individual that no two experiences from someone representing Kenya feel the same.
I absolutely love that. And I like that you use the term global, right? Global workforce. When you think about it, for a workforce to be successful, or even as a leader, you already know this, you want your team to be very diverse in their skill set and what everybody's bringing to the table. And the fact that your organization is recognizing that, it's recognizing that people are different, people have different things they hold near and dear to their heart, and just bringing that to the forefront, it's making people come from an understanding perspective, like, oh, so-and-so is this way, and this is why they're that way. Or they're talking like this, but this is really what they mean when they say this. So I love that aspect, and it's really in a fun way that you're incorporating that diverse mindset through culture.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. And I'm going to, add a little touch here from someone who is an immigrant from Africa coming to America. The first thing I hear when I talk to Americans, especially when we're speaking about culture, I tend to hear, Iowans don't have a culture, or Americans don't have a culture. Yes, they do. Outsiders, we recognize the American cultures. We see the Thanksgiving and all these things, and we see that as a culture. But the fact that when you bring that up, it makes people realize, oh yeah, I do have a culture too. Like we all have cultures, like different ways. So great things that you're doing. So, I know, or I heard, you have an event coming. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
That sounds very exciting.
Yes, so 20 years. That's a huge deal. In that 20 years, so being the numbers person is part of the gig, which I love, the stories that live there are the most beautiful things, and they come from over 200 people who have served over 500,000 Iowans. 500,000 Iowans, 500,000 Iowans. In 20 years, and we're talking ages 3 to 103. We meet everyone where they are. That's a huge thing to celebrate. Most folks throw a big party, they fundraise as a nonprofit, and we chose to do something completely different. We chose to showcase the artistry, to showcase the talent of the tradition bearers, the artistic performers in this community. There's a lot going on in our world right now, and it's a hard place to be. There's also a lot of really beautiful things happening right here in Des Moines. There's a lot of talent right here in Des Moines that, with the way that we do business at CulturAll, oftentimes these folks don't get a chance to celebrate and appreciate each other. If we go out and a fleet of folks go into a school for that day, Trudy's in this room, while RJ's in this room, while another ambassador's in another room, and they don't get the chance to really see each other. So, on September 20th at 7 p.m.
September 20th, write that down.
September 20th.
Write it down.
7 p.m. We'll all be gathering at the Hilton downtown to celebrate this artistry, to celebrate our community partners, and to make everyone aware of this vibrant fabric that is Iowa, that is Des Moines, and allow people the chance to connect with each other through that. 15 different menu items from around the globe, over 15 different performances from around the globe, some 4 or 5 community partners that are going to be selling some goods. So if you want to look at that necklace or that bracelet or that hat, whatever it is, you can buy it there too, and you can, in the process, support some other organizations in town while doing so.
Wow. That already, did you say how many countries for food?
Over 15 dishes.
Okay.
The representation, I think we are up over 25 cultures represented. We keep adding. I found out we can add another dessert, so stay tuned. So we're still playing around, but over 20 cultural experiences for sure. Taste, sound, touch. I feel
like you're already winning with this conversation because food is my love language.
Okay.
And if it's 15 different varieties, plus potentially more additions. Yeah. So where do I sign up? Like, so if someone's listening to this and they're thinking CultureAll, okay, so I just heard about them, but how do I even go to this event or get involved?
Yes. Go to cultureall.org, word cultureall.org. On the homepage, you will see, join this party, come to the event. Here's how to get tickets. You may also reach out to me, Jess, at cultureall.org. Happy to meet you and direct traffic that way. We just really want to see you there more than anything else.
And then, so what about your organization? So I'm thinking someone would like to, volunteer their time or support your mission. How would they get a hold of you or just get involved or learn more?
Yeah, so of course we're on social media. So you may reach out through any of our social media platforms. You can find us there, and I'm sure that Trudy will have this in writing for you, CultureAll spelled out. Just reach out to us. We will direct you toward our newsletter. And here is the time that if we have some volunteer spots open for the ball. If you'd like to volunteer, we'd like to talk with you. If you'd like to serve as an ambassador, as an open book storyteller, there are handfuls of ways to get involved with the organization. And I'll say, we do pay ambassadors and open book storytellers. So there's a part of this model that also is building professional skills. It's a revenue stream for teaching artists, which is a really beautiful thing that should be honored in many communities. So I just want to emphasize that joining the team as an ambassador or storyteller does not mean that you're volunteering. It's a chance for you to grow and earn some extra income in the process.
Oh, sounds like a win-win to me. You get to share your culture and get paid in the process.
That's right.
Yeah, if you can secure the bag while sharing your culture, I mean, why not? So now, I know you've shared a little bit about your journey, how you got here, what you do, what your organization is doing, and what's upcoming. So if someone's watching this and they're really fascinated with your journey, or they're just very intrigued at all the paths and how you've got here, what kind of advice would you leave for such a person?
Yeah, I think connect and stay the course. So connecting with people has changed my life. I have grown emotionally, spiritually, professionally. I've grown in so many ways that I can't measure through the relationships that I've built because of CultureAll, because of getting connected to community. So if you find yourself naturally inclined I'm somehow always responsible for everything. I tend to level up in all my businesses and all my roles and all my seats. Listen to that. There's some skill there. There's some ambition there that you have. When you connect with others, they help bring out the skills that maybe you don't know you have. They help identify the gaps that you might need to fill. And it can be challenging. So staying the course and knowing that if you've committed to moving in purpose and walking in purpose and doing meaningful things, you just have to trust sometimes. Trust the journey. Trust that thing that feels like you're never going to be able to nail it. There are some folks, if you're listening, who would just drop at the fact that I'm the one making spreadsheets and doing all this because there was a time I couldn't, I'm almost in tears. I can't drop the formula, whatever. You learn, you grow, you commit, and you laugh through the failure. Just find a way to giggle at it and go, if I'm supposed to get it, I will. So trust, I suppose, is a big part of it too.
I love it. Yeah. And I absolutely enjoy highlighting people in our community that are out there doing amazing work, be it their own personal businesses, be it their nonprofit organizations. We all need community in one way, shape, or form. And just thank you for being here and just sharing your journey and even speaking about, something that you do. Because yes, it might sound very nuanced to someone, or some people might not have even heard about CultureAll, which now they know. And now they can go build community in that way. So thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you
and
for having me.
Before I let you off the hot seat,
okay.
Are you ready for some rapid fire,
I'm so ready.
Jess? All right. So coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Depends on what I'm reading. So I like to get up early, but I will pull an all-nighter for a good book. Yeah.
So we're leaning night owl? Oh, it depends. We're leaning on depends.
It really depends on what I'm reading. It's exclusively that. Otherwise, I'm up early every day. But I could be known to be turning pages until the wee hours of the morning.
Love it. cultural destination you'd visit again in a heartbeat?
So I'm not going to say again because I haven't been that many places, but in a heartbeat, I would go to Jamaica.
Ah.
Yes. I love reggae music all day. Yeah.
Okay. I can see the vibe.
Yes.
One word to describe your leadership style.
Empathetic.
I love that. What's something you're reading, watching, or listening right now that's inspiring you?
So I just picked up from a used bookstore in Denver, Colorado. Thanks, Rosemary's Baby. Folk Tales from Around the World. So I am always fascinated by what storytelling has meant since the beginning of time. The beginning of time. And I marvel at what we continue to learn and the stories we continue to tell and what that really means for us as people.
Nice. Now, in closing, is there something on this interview that I didn't get a chance to ask you and you feel like it's important to share with your audience today?
Let me think for just a half a second. I do. This is huge. So, Trudy, you're an example of a connection made through community at CulturAll, that I can call you a friend. I can call you a colleague. I can call you a person that I say, change management, I need some help. I know a girl, I can call her. So from these layers of connectivity, CulturAll has offered this to me. So whether or not you want to go put your dancing shoes on and come learn some dances and have some food, I forgot to talk about the dancing that we'll do. We're Dine and Dancing through 20 years. So our September 20th event is truly not just this immersion. It is an opportunity to connect with one another, to build some new relationships. You never know who you might talk to in a bathroom and then say, let's go have a drink somewhere and learn about each other. So just please lean in. If that's not the time to connect with us, find the way that works best for you, but know that we are here. Know that we are here to amplify, know that we're here to serve.
Wow. Powerful. Absolutely agree with that. Community, man, we need each other. And to everybody who's watching at home, I hope Jess's message inspired you. And if you haven't already, I don't know what you're still waiting for. Go to YouTube, push that subscribe button, Conversations with Trudy, so you can be a part of the most inspirational network in town, where we mentor, connect, and inspire others through real life stories. Until next time, have a wonderful day.